I should be like you, Mel.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Well, good morning once again. It's Saturday. It's 8 a.m. in the UK. It's what time is it in Oz, Paul? Sorry, I always forget.
No, 7 p.m. at night, mate.
7 p.m. in Oz, which can only mean one thing, and it's on the sidelines with myself and Paul. Paul, how are you doing? How you been this week?
Yeah, good. Had too big a day today, mate. Been 90 degrees here for those in England, which I'm sure you'd love a couple of 90-degree days, but 31, and I've been out in it too much. I think I got burnt quite badly today. I was out from 6 in the morning till 2:30, and, you know, not a good time to be out and about in that stuff with not much shade. But apart from that, everything's great. Yeah. How are you going, Maddie? How's your temperature?
Yeah, it's temperature's not too bad. It's just, again, more cloud and more rain. So yeah, it's not very nice here, but hey ho, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? At the minute, roll on the summer. We're all looking forward to that, I'm sure. But we got another, I suppose, full show for you all today. We're going to obviously look at Spot the Ball. We've got some Cherries related news. And we'll also be looking ahead at the Premier League fixtures. Paul will give us the lowdown on his thoughts for the West Ham game today. And then we're going to look at some unusual, probably maybe not so known West Ham history, which Paul's done some research on. And then we're going to have a look at players that have played for both. So everybody that's watching, start chucking some names in the comments. You know, of any players that you can remember that's played for both Bournemouth and for West Ham, because we will have a look at those towards the end of the show. And of course, our music feature, which this week has a West Ham connection. So I'm sure many of you will probably be able to guess already who that is. But let's start, as we now always do, I suppose, Paul. And that's with Spot the Ball. So here's an image from a few seasons ago. Against Chelsea. So you've got the choices of A, B, C, and D. So there we go. That's this week's Spot the Ball. So only a bit of fun. But start chucking your guesses into the chat, and we'll have a look at them very, very shortly. But Paul, if you were going to have a guess, well, you are going to have a guess. Have a guess. Which one do you reckon?
I'd say for A. I think A.
A. Okay, cool.
That's Phil Bill in the picture there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Philip Billing. Yeah, and Marcus Senesi. Yeah.
Right.
So, they're the Cherries players, and I think that's Sinistera in the background there. So from a couple of seasons ago, I think that's Andoni's first season, I think, if I remember rightly, from the shirt. So that's the Spot the Ball for this week. So I'll just bring it up again, big one more time before we move on. But there you go, A, B, C, and D. So, Paul, should we jump into the comments and say hello to everybody? There seems to be quite a few comments in already.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, okay, yes. Right. So first up, David DaCosta, morning, Matt and Paul, and everyone in the chat. 31 degrees. Wow. Beautiful sunshine. Looking forward to another great show. Thank you, David. Great to have you with us. And Nick's in. Hello, Nick. Message here from
Nick.
David DaCosta. So he's down in Melbourne next weekend. We'll be at the Impey at 11:30 for Bournemouth versus Sunderland game. Let me know if you're keen to watch. Yeah, definitely get down there. But that's a great atmosphere. We'll release the watch party poster on the AFCB Sydney Instagram and Twitter. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, I bet that's a great atmosphere down there for that. Have you ever been to any of those, Paul?
No, because of the distance. I think where they used to do it in Sydney was an hour and a half away, and it's the time difference. It's like midnight kickoff or something. 2 o'clock.
Oh, of course.
It just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But, Oh, Malcolm. Hi, Malcolm.
Good morning, Matt, Paul, and everyone in the chat. 3 degrees here with rain. Coffee is brewed. I'm looking forward to the show. Yeah, great to have you with us as always, Malcolm. Great to see you. Chris Hubble, of course. Hello, Chris. How are you? Hope you're well. Always great to see you in the chat. David Acosta, thanks for the invite, but I'm 1.5 hours from the city, so I will stick with my TV, enjoy the game. Yeah, it's a shame you're all so far apart. But I think, I always know how big Australia is. So, of course, Watkins Gang are in. Good morning to you all.
Hi, guys. Everybody. Hi.
Nick responding there to David.
Yeah.
Go easy on Paul, Matt. He's had a long day. Yeah. He did pre-warn me that he's had a long day.
I've got sunburn really bad, Nick. So, yeah. That's why I'm feeling hot.
Okay. Yeah. So I should save these comments for when we discuss some of the guys later on. And Chris is going with B. Cool. So we've got a couple of guesses there as well. Excellent. Well, let's get on to it. Let's get on to some Cherries related news. And let's start with some news with the ladies this week. So the AFC Bournemouth ladies were unfortunately beaten 1-0 by Oxford United, which ended their 59-game unbeaten run after a total of 1,081 days. Now, that is some achievement, isn't it? It's been an excellent journey for them. To go 59 games unbeaten over that period of time is an excellent achievement, isn't it, Paul?
Oh, goodness me, yeah. Love to see the lads do that. Our team do that. But yep, sure is.
So yeah, unfortunately,
do you actually on occasions have you been and watched them play, Matt?
I've only ever been once. That was when it was at the stadium against, I think, the previous fixture to Oxford.
Right.
It was, and it was a really good game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and if time would allow, I'd like to get down to Ringwood and watch them a couple of more times as well. But when you've got football, on the Saturday, sometimes it's a bit difficult to free yourself up to always go. But I would like to get down there and see them a bit more. I mean, they are a very, very good side, and just to obviously go that length for time unbeaten is a fantastic achievement. So they've done really, really well there. So they need a big shout out because that's a great, great achievement. Yeah. And also just quickly sticking with the ladies. They're back at the Vitality Stadium, so they will be playing at the Vitality again on Sunday, the 12th of April, 2 p.m. kickoff, and they'll be playing Real Bedford at the Vitality Stadium. So I'm sure that's going to be packed. I think the last game they had like over 6,000 fans in there.
Okay.
So yeah,
and
I think
you get points, don't you, if you attend those games? I believe.
I believe so. So. Yeah, I believe so. So yeah, looking forward to that as well. So we're going to discuss obviously some more Cherries news about the first team as we look ahead towards today's game at West Ham at a 5:30 kickoff. But just to have a quick little bit of news about a previous player. It seems to be things ain't going so well for our former goalkeeper Neto back in Brazil. It looks like he's having a bit of a difficult spell. So since leaving the Cherries in the summer, he's now drawing some unusually harsh criticism back in Brazil, with one commentator delivering a very remarkable on-the-air assessment of his performances. So it doesn't look like things are going too well there, Paul, with Neto. I mean, Neto is somebody I always rated Neto. I was always a fan of him while he was at Bournemouth. But what was your assessment of him while he was with the Cherries? Do you think criticism? I mean, all goalkeepers go through a bad patch, don't they? Obviously, Petrovic has come into some criticism recently, but I always thought he was a very strong keeper for Bournemouth. But what was your opinion?
Well, a few things just come to mind. He was always getting caught out on corners and crosses. He didn't deal with them too well. If I remember when he played for Bournemouth, he'd punch instead of catch. And I always remember there was a goal, and I think I've spoken about it before, where he rolled the ball out to Phil Bill, who got caught in possession just outside the 18-yard box. I think you were there, or Craig was there for that game. Took the ball off it and just put it in the net. I think you were right there at that time. Things like that. But I think it's a confidence thing. If you're a goalkeeper, you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and it's one of those positions, mate. And if you make a mistake and they score, that seems to stick in people's minds, But again, outfield players make mistakes. They get caught in possession. The play turns over and you break through and they score. But it always seems to be blown up if it's a keeper error. They always pick on it, the commentators, don't they? But if he's going through a bad patch, I mean, he's no youngster, mate. I think is he mid to late 30s now, isn't he?
I think he's about 35 now, I think.
Yes. So. Yeah. So, I mean, he's had a great run. Good. In his day, he was a great keeper. Yeah. But
it's just
yeah.
Sorry, Paul. Sorry, after you.
No. I'm just going to say it's easy for journalists to get out there and knock him, mate, isn't it? But easy to do it, but big stuff, big league. He's a lot of experience. Yeah. He was our captain, wasn't he, for a while?
He certainly was, and it's there's comments on the screen there that was made by the commentator. But I just thought when I was reading this, because I always like to keep an eye on former players anyway, once they go on and how they do. I was just quite surprised to read, this article that, he was having such a bad time. I agree, obviously, when he was with us, I would say, he definitely punched the ball probably more than what he possibly should have caught it. But then again, I think that's kind of how the art of goalkeeping has become now. It's more all about punching and the palming, whether, you go back to the 70s and it was a case of, if someone had a shot on goal, the goalkeeper would catch the ball.
Definitely.
And I remember, when I was a kid, getting taught goalkeeping skills, I always remember, bring the ball in, catch it, bring it your body, close to your body, and things like that. Now I think it's more about palming and things like that, isn't it? Which is,
And how often, Matt, does it go to an opposing player when they do this? They go out and punch, or they mispunch it, or how often does that happen? That, as you say, they'll palm it away, and you've seen goals where they just palm it away, and the forward just puts it in the net. You think, well, why didn't he get hold of it? But that's football.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just thought it was an interesting one just to have a little discussion about on the show this week. But should we turn our attentions now then to this week's fixtures in the Premier League? Obviously, last week we had a look at the FA Cup fixtures, didn't we? I can't remember really how many we got right and wrong, but
we're doing well. We're going all right. We've got a high percentage. You picked Mansfield Town to win, and they won in the cup. Yeah, you've done well, Matt. Better than I have.
Yeah, maybe I should start. Maybe I should start putting some money on at the bookies.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at this week's Premier League fixtures. Let's start with today. So we've got Villa Leeds, no early kickoff. Brentford, Brighton, Chelsea, Burnley. The small matter of West Ham versus Bournemouth, which we'll come on to in a lot more detail very shortly. And then a big one at 8 p.m. tonight. Manchester City versus Newcastle. Newcastle obviously had a fantastic win in the Champions League earlier on in the week. They had a good result in the Cup against Villa last weekend. So they're going to really want to take those performances into tonight's game against City. But let's start with Villa Leeds. Paul, how do you see that one?
Look, I think Villa are going to be too strong. I mean, we know how difficult a team they can be, especially at home. They've got a very partisan crowd. Yet for me, it's Villa all the way on that. Well, it might not be by a lot of goals, but I feel Villa will win that. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go. I agree with you. I think Villa getting knocked out of the cup last week. I think they're going to see today's game as vitally important. They win it to sort of keep themselves on track. So I think they will. I don't think they're going to go out and beat them 4-0 or anything like that. I think it'll be a close one, but I think Villa will definitely edge it. So Villa for me. I agree with you there, Paul. So Brentford versus Brighton. This could be a bit of a funny fixture.
Well, Brentford are the form team, aren't they? We don't want them to be a form team. They're we want them to start losing. This outcome should be a nice 0-0 draw. It's a perfect world for Bournemouth fans, but I think Dango's scoring every other game. Unfortunately, Dango Tara. I think Brentford are going to win that. That's my opinion on it, but I don't think it'll be a draw. I wish it would, but no, I think Brentford will do them.
No, I'm going to go with a Brentford win there. Chelsea, Burnley. I think again Chelsea. At the end of the day, they did get a good result at Anfield recently, didn't they? They did manage to get a draw there, but I think Chelsea win that one today. And the big one at the end of the day then, Paul, Man City, Newcastle. Obviously, Eddie needs some points in the league, doesn't he? I think he's feeling the pressure a little bit in terms of league position and form, but they've had 2 good wins recently. But unfortunately, sorry, Eddie, I think City are going to win.
Got to be. I mean, if City go and win that with what happened at Wolves in the week with the 2-2 draw, which was the last 10 minutes of that were brilliant to watch in the week. But City for me, who knows what Antoine's going to get up to in that little game there. But City for me, and if they win that, there's going to be a 2-point gap, and they would have both played the same amount of games. So I can see that Guardiola, he's going to be desperate to win that game. I think they'll win. I know. Somebody very close to you is a Newcastle supporter, and I love Eddie too, but common sense tells me it's going to be a City win.
I agree.
Yeah, football's strange.
Football is a strange game. Well, that's today's fixtures anyway. Like we say, we'll discuss the West Ham game in a little bit more detail very shortly. Also, the Dean Court Social is out, where I sort of give my opinion and score predictions. So Paul will take the lead on the build up to West Ham and Bournemouth very shortly. But let's look at tomorrow's fixtures. So we've got Palace Wolves, Nottingham Forest Liverpool, Sunderland Fulham, and then a big one at 4:30. Obviously Arsenal drew midweek after being 2-0 up. So with City playing Newcastle, we'll see how that pans out. That's going to be a very, very, very important game for Arsenal, and also Tottenham, who need the points. So sorry, over to you, Paul.
No, not at all. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just thinking this has got a similar overtone. And if people want to put any comments about these games, please feel free to pop them in the comments there, especially the Tottenham Arsenal game. But it's got similar overtones to last season, hasn't it? Arsenal running away with everything, and then blips here and blips there. And look at this, Gooners wobbling 2-1 Spurs. Yeah, do us a favour with West Ham. I think we might, Dave. But in a perfect world, that's for me. I might start at the bottom and work up, if you like, while we're talking about Spurs. I look, Arsenal seem to beat Spurs all the time. Unfortunately, Dave, I think I'm going to go with Arsenal because I think they'd have had a big kick up the backside after Wednesday night from Arteta. I think Arsenal will, but football's a funny game. If I had to put money on it, I'd put Arsenal. What's your call on that, Matty?
New manager bounce for Tottenham.
I know.
Arsenal desperately needing the points.
Yeah.
This is going to be a draw.
Do you? Brilliant game to look at.
It's going to be a draw, I reckon.
Working upwards. Here you go. Look at that, Arsenal. Yeah,
Nick saying Arsenal.
I could see that. I just can't see Spurs winning. I know. Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from. I think if Thomas Frank was still there, I think I would be saying Arsenal, to be honest. But I think the new manager's come in, hasn't he? He's not probably had a lot of time to work with them. I don't know exactly when he got onto the training ground with the players, but sometimes you do get that new manager bounce, don't you? Where I know they've got a lot of injuries. Tottenham, you've got to look at that as well. That they have been, the amount of injuries they've had. But I think sometimes a new manager coming in, new ideas. I don't think they'd be strong enough to beat them. I just got a funny feeling they could nick something. So,
you could well be right. Could well be right, Matt. Yeah.
Frank is gone all good.
Hey?
Frank is gone all good, David's saying that.
He'll be watching on the TV like us, Dave. Don't you worry about that, mate. Watching us watch,
absolutely.
Harry Redknapp.
Absolutely. There's some guesses coming in there, which I'll save the guesses for a little bit later on. Spurs have 13 fit players.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's really cost, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose it's had a big impact on Thomas Frank's position there, all the injuries, but I still don't think he was the long-term answer for Spurs personally.
You're right.
Just quickly before we check on the other 3 games there. David's in. Good morning, Matt and Paul. I agree with Paul. A. Okay, that's where Spot the Ball is in A. Okay, one last week. Still waiting for my winnings. Love the show. Thank you for all the effort you both put into entertain us. Yeah, we both love doing it, don't we, Paul? So,
we do. And Dave's a great mate of mine. He lives in Bournemouth, and I've sort of turned him to being a Bournemouth supporter in a way. But he watches some games on the TV over there. But we've got your BSB and account number, Dave. Just send the CVC number on the back for your prize. And you'll get your prize, mate. It'll be a bit of what do you call it? Getting money out of it. No, only joking. Yep. Send all your bank details in, Dave. If you win, that's fine, mate. Excellent. Back on track. Sunderland, Fulham. I'd go for a draw in that one myself, but
I'll go with Sunderland win on that myself. Okay. Yeah, Sunderland win. Just their home form's been so good this season. I just think that they're beat Fulham personally. What about Forest and Liverpool? Now, Forest obviously needing the points. Liverpool's season's not been excellent, so they want to kind of salvage what they can.
They've got to dig their way out of the bottom half of the table, haven't they? At Spurs' expense or at somebody's expense. But again, in Europe, they had a big win. Fenerbahce, they went and won 3-0 there with the new manager. I still think Liverpool will win that game. I think Liverpool will do it there. What do you reckon, Maddie?
I think they're going to frustrate Liverpool.
Right. Yeah.
I do think they're going to frustrate Liverpool. But again, I can't see it being a high-scoring game, but I do see Liverpool edging it.
I mean, I remember when Bournemouth played at Sunderland, when things didn't go Sunderland's way, they turned it on, they turned a bit nasty, and the crowd got a bit volatile. And I can't wait for them to come in next week, mate, because I'm sure Bournemouth fans will give it them back. I hope so. I hope so. But, and the top one, I'm going to go for something different here. I think I've seen an improvement in Wolves. I think Wolves could get their first away win of the season, Matt, on that. There'd be big odds. They played well. When they played well against Arsenal, they had them, mate. I think there's been an improvement there. I mean, you'll get huge odds on that game, Palace to lose at home to Wolves, because I don't think Wolves have won away from home all season. But I'm going to go for an upset there, mate. I don't know what your thoughts are.
That's a brave one. Do you know what?
I'll go there. Yeah,
I'm I find this one difficult to call, really, Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna. Do you know what? This one I'm gonna go with a draw.
Okay. Yep.
This one I think. So that's a draw. Liverpool, Sunderland, draw for me.
Right.
All of
Right.
those.
Yep.
But
Lovely.
here we go. Nick is in agreement.
Yeah, they've improved. I think Wolves have improved.
0-0. Wow. Wow. 0-0. But let's take a look at Monday then. So just the one fixture as normal. The Monday night football is Everton versus Manchester United. Yeah, I think United for me on this one.
Sorry?
I think Manchester United for me on this one.
Definitely, I agree with you. Yeah, they've got poor home form, Everton.
You know, Carrick's still unbeaten, isn't he? I know, obviously.
I agree with you. Yeah.
You know, they only got the draw at against West Ham, but yeah, for me, it's Manchester United on this one.
And me. Yeah.
Cool. So that concludes our kind of predictions for this weekend's games, and Paul's keeping a track on how well we're doing. So next week we'll try and work out kind of a percentage of how we've done.
I'll do that. I'll work that out for next week, mate. Leave that with me.
Yeah,
you're the pundit, mate. You're the one that's getting most of it right, not me.
Well, it'll be interesting to know how much percentage that we've got right as a collective and maybe as individuals as well. Be interesting to see. So we'll do that hopefully for next week's show. But let's get on to today's fixture, Paul. Obviously, there's a big game at 5:30 at the London Stadium. West Ham, Bournemouth. Now, I've obviously given my views and opinions, score prediction in the Dean Court Social. So for mine, do check that show out. But Paul, over to you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, last week, I have no fears about Bournemouth going to West Ham. I think they'll win. I think West Ham, I know they've been on this run, and I know the crowd have been with them, and they're forever blowing bubbles and all this nonsense. But I feel we're going to be too strong because I feel we're the form team. We've got 6 unbeaten, mate, and I can see. Well, we'll definitely get a result, but my gut feeling is we're going to win. I think. You know, I'm not Andoni, but I think there's going to be a couple of changes here in the lineup. I'll just give you what I think, and it is an opinion. It is an opinion. I mean, I think Petrovic and the back four will stay the same, which is Jimenez, Hill, who's playing brilliantly, Hill at the moment, Senesi and Truffert. I can't see him changing that. But I think in midfield and up front, I think there could be a couple of changes, mate, because he's not going to drop Alex Scott, because he's in the form of his life at the moment. For me, he's playing so well. Yeah, you're dead right, Nick. You're dead right. So that's odds are saying there's got to be a change, isn't there? You know.
Yeah.
It could be a change. I think Bournemouth will win. I think midfield, he's not going to drop Alex Scott, and I think he's going to bring Tyler Adams straight back in. Now he's 100% fit. I think he's so good in that role. I think it'll be Scott, Adams, and Cook in midfield, and I think it'll be Adams and Cook holding, with Alex Scott given a bit of a license to go forward. And again, I'm going to put my head on the block. I'm going to say there's going to be a change up front, because I think Evan Nielsen, let's be honest, he's not in the form that he's been in. I know he holds the ball up and lays the ball off and plays some lovely flicks, which don't always come off. And there's one thing starting to annoy me. When he misses a chance, he just smiles. You know, I don't know if anybody's noticed that on the camera. And I think, you know, I know. He's probably a lovely guy, but he's missed just a few too many for me. Up front, you've got to play Ryan. You've got to play him. Adley seems to be doing the business on the right, on the left, I beg your pardon. And I'm going to put Krupi to start up front. I feel he'll go with those 3, and I think Evan Nielsen will start on the bench. But to look at the bench is extremely strong. I mean, if you put Evan Nielsen on from the start, one of those 2 on the bench, I'd say Evan Nielsen on the bench. I mean, you've got Brooksy back, Christie's back, Milosevic is back, Smithy's there, you've got Toth, and you've got Unel. And Tavernier could even make an appearance on the bench because he's back in full training. So that's a very strong bench that
Yeah.
you've got. It is, isn't it? For the first time in weeks, which is what I think, that's what Andoni does best, even though he's at the stand, sitting in the stand this week. But that's what he does best, his substitutions. He just gets that timing right, and he brings on, a bit of bolster in midfield, and we're off and running. I don't know. I don't know, mate. I think there could be 2 goals in it here. I think West Ham could probably score, but I believe Bournemouth will win. I'd say either 3-1, 4-2. I think there'll be a few goals around. Their danger men to me is still Callum Wilson. I mean, I know he's still a danger, even if he comes on with 20 minutes to go. You know what he's like. He can just put the ball in the net from nothing. And obviously Jared Bowen, who's trying to play as well as he can, but he's got the World Cup coming up, but he's going to have to lift his game, because I haven't seen a lot from him of late. And obviously Somerville, we all know about him. He's a danger up front, number 9, Somerville there. That's what I think's going on. Just very quickly, very briefly, because we need to move on, but with Andoni picking up that 3rd yellow card, he's going to have to sit in the stand. He won't be allowed on the sidelines there. And interesting, because the 4th official in his interview this morning, last night rather, with you, 4th official that booked him, his name is Sam Barrett. He got named as the referee for this game. And Andoni was quoted on there as saying, "Oh dear, he's going to remember what I said to him on the sidelines to get booked." So he thought it was his words were, "It's very strange, very odd that he is refereeing the game." But we'll see, won't we? So what's your... Oh, you can't say your thoughts. Sorry, Maddie. You've got your thoughts on your show. You've got your thoughts on your show.
Yeah. And so if people want to hear my views, check that one out. Sure. But what Nick said a little while ago, last 5 games versus West Ham have all been draws, and they have. Actually, West Ham were Andoni's first opponents in the Premier League for us. So check that out. But I think there's a bit of a pattern here with what Nick said. So that's all I'll say for now.
So this game's going to be live on TV at 5:30.
That's correct. Yeah. It's on Sky.
Strange time.
I think it's on, but Colin's in. Hey guys, tuning in a bit late. Good to be listening in. Good to have you with us, Colin. And Nick. No major loss with Andoni in the stands. Even from the dugout, he'd be miles away from the pitch. Absolutely. I mean, I've been there several times. And it's a bit of a nightmare. I think for a manager, like Nick said there, must be not a great place to go to manage.
In his interview, Nick, Andoni said that he'd be all wired up. So he said that he didn't feel too bad because he's got the 3 down on the bench there.
But this is it. I mean, he will communicate. He'll be sat there, and obviously he won't be able to be his usual animated self as he would be on the touchline. But any messages in terms of the football, in terms of tactics, and any messages he has to get across to the players, exactly. The guys will have an earpiece, and he will communicate exactly what he needs to communicate, and they will get the message across to the team. So it does have slight, boundaries, but in this day and age with all these earpieces and stuff, he'd get his messages across to Sean Cooper or Tommy, whoever's got the earpiece, and they get the message across to the players. So it's no major loss. It's just going to be very frustrating for him to be sat up in the stands, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you hit it on the head last week. I think we were talking about this, or on the phone or something. We were talking about it, Matt, and you said that in the old days it was quite standard. A manager would sit on the stand, and then he'd come down to the touchline in the second half or something.
Yeah, it was strange, wasn't it? And
football's changed. Yeah, it's changed. Yeah. That was the run of the mill, the way it was done, wasn't it?
Yeah, it used to be like that. I can't. I'm trying to think of some examples of managers who sit in the stands. I think maybe trying to think. Anybody in the chat can remember any managers that used to sit in the stands? I got a vision of like Terry Venables when he was managing some. He would sit in the stands for a little bit to get a different view and that. And there's managers out there. I can't remember, but if there's anybody that's got a name, chuck it in. Have you got one?
I've got a beauty from the 70s who used to sit in the stands. He used to wear a hat, what do they call those hats? Like a Stetson type hat with a cigar. Malcolm Allison, who was Malcolm Allison. He was. You'd see him on the cigars there, you know, in the stand and with the teams he managed, and I think it was Manchester City he managed and stuff. There you go. You're right. We will, Chris. Don't you worry, mate. We're going to win this one. I haven't got any problem with this game. I think we're going to win it. Graham Taylor.
Yeah. That does ring a bell now. Yeah, that does.
Yeah,
that does. Some chats just coming in quickly, and then we'll move on to our next piece. Murray's in, and David, Malcolm Allison. With a big cigar. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So Malcolm Allison, Graham Taylor. Yeah, there's been managers over the years, haven't they, that have preferred to sit in the stand at certain times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if myself, I'd rather be on the touchline. But hey ho. But Paul, you've done some research this week. We're going to keep the West Ham theme going, obviously, as we're playing West Ham today. Also, our music feature at the end of the show is also West Ham connected. But you've done some research and found some unusual, I suppose you would describe them as unusual facts that people may not know about West Ham.
Oh, very much. Well, there's 3 facts there. Are you going to pop? There we go. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. In 1932, long-term manager Sid King, very English name, Sid King, was sacked, would you believe this, after 32 years following relegation and a mental health crisis. He got them to a cup final, I think 1923. He was appointed in, I think it was 1901 or something like that, and he stayed with the club, managed the team for 32 years. That's just, by today's standards, that is just crazy, isn't it?
Well, you're lucky if you last 32 days.
Well, as I said to you before, Brian Clough leads. 33 days, Brian Clough. I mean, it's coming back in fashion, mate, isn't it, with Postecoglou? I shouldn't say that. I should say Postecoglou at Spurs, and, you know, they're all... and Forest, wasn't it? I beg your pardon, not Spurs. At Forest, he got sacked really quickly. There's so many managers getting the chop real early. But, yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? Incredible. 32 years as a manager.
Yeah, I mean, what did Alex Ferguson do at United? Was it 26 years, something like that? Yeah, he's right up there. Yeah. And he's still there now, poking his nose in, isn't he? I mean, how would you be? Talk about someone in the stands. I mean, how would you be if you were a manager at Man United and you know behind you at every game you've got Alex Ferguson? Yeah, but how do you follow the legacy of someone that's achieved so much? It's it's like whoever goes in next at City after Pep, with what Pep's achieved. It's some
David Moyes. David Moyes tried it, didn't he? He was recommended by Ferguson United, and he didn't last long. He was a failure.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll see a manager last 32 years.
I won't last 32 years, Matt. Interesting.
But yeah, another fact about their famous song then, Paul, Forever Blowing Bubbles.
Yeah, 1920s, it says fans sang the I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles song. You know, when you'll see it tomorrow. You'll see it today, your time, you'll see it. When they come on the field, the bubble machine, now they blow the bubbles up. It came about because a player who was nicknamed Bubbles, which I presume is the guy in the shirt there, was named Bubbles by a teacher, and this started the singing tradition, which is still sung today. That's my history there. Yeah, didn't know that one.
No, I didn't, and I've always wondered why they used to, they sing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles" because that's you hear that and you just associate that with West Ham, don't you? So never ever knew that. So that's an interesting one. And then there's a final unusual fact that people may not necessarily know about West Ham, which is this one.
Yeah, it says here both club nicknames, the Hammers, which is what they're known as today, really, the Hammers, and the Irons, I think that was more your 60s, came from the origins of the club as a works team for the Thames Ironworks and Shipbuilding Company, with West Ham being founded in 1895. Look at that lot there. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I don't think Sid. Oh, no, that's not Sid King in that picture, is it? So, no, I don't think so. Yeah, some stuff I didn't know. It was a factory works team. Is how it started. And anybody in the comments could remind us of what year Bournemouth were founded. Would be interesting. If you know, there's a little quiz for you. You can pop it in the comments if anybody's got a clue. What year was AFC Bournemouth founded?
Am I not allowed to answer that? Am I?
I know. No, Matt. No,
Actually, if you can see it, it's on the little scarf on the back of the ball. Actually, if you can see it.
If you win, send me your bank details, Matt. That's good. Yeah. For the prize. Yeah.
David, wonder what his golden handshake was. £2. Yeah, absolutely.
True.
Yeah, 32 years of service and £2. But yeah, £2 back in the I don't think it would have even been pounds back in those days, would it?
No. I mean that's a great quiz night question, isn't it? On in a pub quiz or something. What a question that is to put out there. Who managed a Premier League team now for 32 years? But never be done again. Never. Yeah.
No. But thank you to you, Paul, for finding some unusual facts there. That was quite interesting when you sent them across to especially the Forever Blowing Bubbles one was really interesting. But again, sticking with the West Ham theme, and we've had some names in the chat. Players that have played for both West Ham and Bournemouth. Couple of names here. So Chris Hubble's gone with Defoe and Wilson.
Quite right. What a forward line that would be. Yeah.
Nick's gone with Steve Jones.
Yeah, brilliant.
David DaCosta's gone with Harry Redknapp.
Yeah.
And Malcolm has gone with Trevor Hartley.
Wow.
Which is one that I forgot about, which actually isn't amongst our ones that we've picked. And I also haven't picked Callum Wilson. He's obviously still playing, and we've spoken about it. But let's have a look at some of the others, shall we, Paul?
I'll just have to say to Malcolm a minute. Malcolm, as regards Trevor Hartley, do you remember he used to play in the midfield for Bournemouth mid-70s, and they made him manager, and I think he lasted a few months. He couldn't cope with that. You might remember that, Malcolm, that he was made manager for a very short period of time.
He was the youngest manager I think ever appointed at that time, if I remember right.
Still see his face. Yep. Right. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt. Yeah.
No. I'm glad you chucked that in there because, he was.
He would have been a 32.
Long blonde hair, if I remember right.
Blonde hair, short. Yeah, short. Like Malcolm. Yeah. He. I'm being rude, Mel. Only mucking about, matey. Only mucking about. You like that? Go, Maddie. Yeah.
And another guest there, Rio Ferdinand. Yeah. So let's have. Well, it's not a guess, is it? He did, but let's have a look at some of the ones that we've put together. First up, Jermaine Defoe. I mean, wow, what a player. But 2 spells with us. Spell at West Ham. I don't think. I think he actually left West Ham when they got relegated, didn't he? So I don't think the West Ham fans were too happy at the time. But what a player! What a player!
In his first spell with us, mate, I was lucky enough. I was in England at that time, and I did see him when he scored 10 goals in 10 games or something, didn't he? Incredible. And that other manager of another team, I think it was Oxford United, came out and said that it wasn't fair that they were allowing Jermaine Defoe to play at that level because he was just too good. Do you remember any of that?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I remember him scoring his 10th goal. I think it was away at Cambridge, if I remember rightly. But I do remember a manager coming out and saying that he shouldn't be at the level. But great player.
Yeah, very much.
Another personal favourite of mine, Stevie Jones. What a West Ham kit that is! That is a proper retro West Ham shirt he's got on there. I think that's him scoring his first goal for West Ham in the senior side. But Yeah, Steve Jones, fantastic player. Had 2 spells with us and 2 spells with West Ham. So
Tell us, Matt, because I never saw him play. I never saw
I
much
think,
of him. Tell us.
well, the shirt he's got on there,
Mm,
I would have been about 10 at the
mm,
time.
mm.
And yeah, he was one of my favourite players as a kid. And my dad would say every time his name was on the team sheet, there's a good chance Bournemouth was going to score a couple today. I remember a game at home to Chesterfield. I think it was the last home game of the season. That season, the shirt he's got on there. So that would have been 95, 96.
Right.
And he scored a brace against Chesterfield, and he was just
Mm.
absolutely fantastic on that day. That's just a memory of him I've got when I was a kid. I'm pretty certain it was Chesterfield.
He was a prolific goal scorer. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great goal scorer. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he
obviously
was.
played in that
Yeah.
final, the playoff final for
Yeah.
Charlton against Sunderland, one of the famous
Yeah.
ones. He was actually on our last cherry picking as Guess the Cherry as well. So if you haven't seen that episode of Cherry Picking and you see Guess the Cherry, you're going to now know who it is. But great player. A lot of fun memories. And here we go then, Paul. Mr. Redknapp, not only has he played for Bournemouth, but also been in the dugout for both clubs as well.
Yeah, and he's still trying to be in the dugout. He said he was happy to go to Spurs, wouldn't he? and keep him up. And I tell you what, I reckon he would have kept him up. But like Dave said in the chat, I was lucky enough, 1972, when he was signed. I think he was £30,000. He's 78 now. He's 78. 149 appearances and 7 goals for West Ham. And for Bournemouth, 101 appearances. I mean, that's a lot of appearances, 5 goals. Bournemouth manager, we know that. As I say, I saw Harry play always remember him on the right wing playing there. Malcolm, you would remember him as well. And the players that he played with at Dean Court as well. Ted had gone at this point. He'd been transferred to Man United. But some of the players that he played with on the field there, Phil Boyer was still there. And I distinctly remember John Bond saying, "No, we've sold Ted. We are not selling Phil Boyer." And 2 weeks later, guess what? Phil Boyer had gone. And that started the landslide of exit of players at Bournemouth. But the players he played with, as I say, is Phil Boyer, Mickey Cave. We all know of the Mickey Cave Award. I think, are they still doing that Mickey Cave Cup thing award? Yeah, I saw him play. He died, I can't remember, very young, Mickey Cave. Alan Groves, who for older fans would know, what a player. Man, that guy, he'd be as fast as Round when he goes. He was fast. Alan Groves. He died young.
Another one that died young.
Yeah, he did. Another one that died young. Mel Machin. These are all names we know. Keith Miller, Fred Davis, goalkeeper. John Benson, another manager like Mel Machin. And this is an interesting pairing. Ian Gibson and Brian Clark, they were brought in to replace Ted. And they started off okay, but how do you do that? You can't replace a guy like Ted, but played with some big names. Yeah, that's my take on Harry. We all know the other stuff he's done, so it's great.
Yeah, I mean, great images there of him in an old Cherry shirt and playing for West Ham there. So
that one on the right, Matt, that stripe, that is your classic 1972, 73. It could be 71, 72 shirt that he's got on there. Oh, yeah, it is, with the long hair, where he's featured with the long hair. Great shirt, that one.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go, Rio Ferdinand. Well, I remember watching him again as a kid. I would have been about 11, 12 at the time. And him coming in. And well, the thing is, for what I can remember, and from what I remember from reading his autobiography, is one thing that really stuck with me was how the manager at the time, Mel Machin, described him. Now, bearing in mind, I think he was 18 at the time. And he's come in, he's playing, what was it, Division 2, so what, 3rd division football at the time. And he come in and he just was brilliant. And Machin actually nicknamed him Class. Never called him Rio, never called him Ferdinand. Just called him class because he was that good with the ball at his feet. And he was being compared to the likes of Bobby Moore then as well. He was good in, as a defender, but also a good reader of the game and a good passer of the ball as well. So, great to see Rio in a Cherry shirt. Been nice to see him in a Cherry shirt a little bit longer, but obviously he done so well at Bournemouth. I think he went back to West Ham and went straight into their first team. So, yeah.
And had a huge England career afterwards, didn't he? Played for England.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah. Scott Mean. So that's a name from the past. You can see
that's not that guy from The Cure on the right, is it, Matt?
No, but he's went on and actually had a bit of a acting career. He was actually in Mike Bassett Football Manager.
Did he?
He was actually in that. So after his playing spell, but started off at Bournemouth, went to West Ham, and then came back to Bournemouth for one season in 1999-2000. And he was actually the first player to be registered with the number 5 shirt when they started to register players to numbers in the nationwide English leagues back in 99-2000. So he was actually the first person that was registered with the number 5 shirt. So,
Julie and Vanessa that comment on the show.
Yeah.
I believe that they used to see him in Ensbury Park. I think he lived in Ensbury Park, around the corner from where they lived, when he was around, I think, unless my memory's got it wrong. But local lad. So
yeah. So that's another one. And Harry took him to West Ham during the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Carl Fletcher. Now, Carl Fletcher, obviously, hero for Bournemouth. There he is celebrating one of his 2 goals in the Cardiff Millennium Stadium playoff final. But he actually played in the FA Cup final, the famous final that they call the Gerrard final from 2006.
Right.
And I believe there was an injury to Hayden Mullins, I think his name was. He was injured, and that's how Fletcher made the start in that cup final. But wow.
Welsh international.
Welsh international as well. Yeah.
He was manager of Wrexham or somewhere, I think, for a short period.
It was Plymouth. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
He managed Plymouth, and he actually took a certain Steve Fletcher on loan down to Plymouth around the time when Paul Groves was in charge of Bournemouth. And he's still back at the club now.
Great player.
Yeah, great player. Played in midfield, but also was pretty decent at centre back as well.
He was captain at Bournemouth.
He was captain.
Good player.
Yeah, great player. Good leader. Played for both. There's another one. David James. Gotta say, love the colour of the goalkeeper shirts here in these ones.
Yeah.
Had a short spell with Bournemouth after playing at various other clubs, including West Ham. So, played for both. Eddie Howe came back in, and I think David James described it as probably one of the nicest sackings he ever had, or something like that. I read somewhere that, Eddie said that he wouldn't be playing.
He played at a very high level. He played for England as well, didn't he?
He did. He was England's number 1 for a couple of tournaments, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
definitely.
Stanislas there from Collins.
Stanislas, stay tuned. Right. Stay tuned. Let's see if he appears. David James
had a score direct from a corner. Ian Bishop, saw him play at Dean Court when I was on holiday over there. Tell you what, mate, this guy, wow, he went for something like, from my memory, 400,000 plus. I think he went to City. What a pickup! I think he came from Carlisle. Malcolm might confirm that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did. He actually started off at Everton in their youth system, and I think he turned pro at Everton, but it was under Howard Kendall. I don't think he ever got a first team appearance for Everton. Then he went to Carlisle.
Yeah.
And then he came to Bournemouth, and then he went on to the likes of City. Then he went to West Ham, and I think he went back to City for a bit of a spell in the late 90s. But a midfielder that my dad still says to this day was, even though he played one season for Bournemouth, he was absolutely class.
Did you ever see him, Matt? Did you ever see him?
I didn't, unfortunately. No. Before my time.
My memory of him, he used to play in central midfield, and you could just see when he got the ball, he just seemed to be one of those players that had so much time on the ball. And there you go. Malcolm, 100%, 110%, mate. No wonder Manchester City wanted to pay that for him. What a bargain. And you know who I think found him in those days? I think Stuart Morgan, who used to play at the back for Bournemouth centre half. He used to scout for Harry, and I think they found him. And what a player! He'd just he'd get the ball, and the whole game seemed to stop because he got that much control of the pitch. It was just, I don't know, my memory. He was a very, very good player, underrated.
Yeah. I think Stuart Morgan actually spotted a lot of decent players over the years.
I'm pretty sure he found him for Harry. Yeah. Great player. Well done, Dave. I totally agree. Great player. Underrated in the Bournemouth ranks, that lad.
Definitely. Here's another one. Ryan Fredericks. I remember when he signed for Bournemouth, a friend of mine who's a West Ham fan said, good player, but you've got to keep him fit. And and he was. The games he did play for Bournemouth, I thought he was a decent fullback.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we didn't see too much of him. But he did play for both.
Yeah, only played 12 times for Bournemouth.
Yes, that's right.
He was there for 2 years on a 2-year contract.
I think his second season with us, I don't think he even appeared on the bench. I don't think.
That's right. Signed by Scotty Parker from Fulham because he knew him at Fulham. Yeah.
That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
Here's one. I couldn't find a picture of him in a West Ham shirt. I know there is one somewhere. But I didn't have time to find it. But Matt Holland, he actually started at West Ham in the youth, and there's a very famous forum with Harry Redknapp where fans saying about how Frank Lampard wasn't good enough, and how he had let players like Matt Holland go and that over the years when they were apparently better players. But so an interesting one there.
I just got a 30-second story which is interesting, which came to mind. He was signed by Harry 1986. I think he was about 16 and a half when he signed. There was a story that went round, and how Harry tells his stories.
This is the wrong one. This is the wrong one.
About what had you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, this isn't him, Paul.
Oh, okay. He's commentating now, I believe, Matt Holland.
He is.
Oh,
I know who you're talking about, but it isn't this guy.
Right. Well, thank you for that.
That's fine. No worries. Two players here who had brief spells at Bournemouth. Zavon Hines, he came in on loan for a short period, and Dale Gordon was actually brought in by Mel Machin during the 1996-97 season as player coach. Made a handful of appearances for Bournemouth, but then I think he retired through injury, I believe, if I remember rightly. So, I did see Dale Gordon play once or twice in a Cherries shirt, but very famous for playing for the likes of Rangers, Norwich, and clubs like that. I think, very well known. But for Bournemouth, came in as player coach under Mel Machin. But unfortunately wasn't at the club for very long. Jimmy Quinn, there we go. Another man that's been in the dugout for Bournemouth. But again, I'm loving these classic kits. Now that blue kit that he's wearing there is actually an alternative shirt that Bournemouth had to introduce, because at that time, with the A1 windscreens on that time, the home kit, obviously red and black stripes. The away kit was blue and black stripes. And they went to, I remember in Newcastle in the Cup, they had to wear this plain blue shirt because obviously the black stripes clashed with Newcastle black stripes. Wow. So, and that shirt actually doesn't have the club crest on it either. Just literally has the sponsor on it. But
never seen that shirt.
Yeah. So, interesting there. Nice couple of kits, and not a bad goal scorer either.
No.
And there's the man in his Bournemouth kit and his West Ham kit. Obviously, we've spoke a hell of a lot about Ted over the years, haven't we? But yeah, great player there. Did he play with Phil Boy at West Ham? I think he did he?
No, I think Phil. I think he
He
played
did
with
play
him
with
at Southampton. Ted played with Phil at
Norwich.
Southampton and possibly Manchester City. But I don't think they met up at West Ham somehow.
Yeah,
I think
all
you're
Manchester United. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
right.
Well, let's have a look. Another man, right? Didn't play for Bournemouth, but was in the dugout for Bournemouth for a short period of time. One of our promotion-winning managers, Scott Parker. He did have a spell at West Ham. I think he played for just about every London club. He played for Spurs. He played for West Ham. He played for Charlton. He played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Did I say Spurs? Played for Spurs?
He definitely played. He was a good player for Spurs, yeah.
Yeah, he played for a lot of London clubs, didn't he?
Yeah. And you got to give him credit. I mean, he gets knocked for what goes on, what went on at Bournemouth. But to get 3 teams into the Premier League, he did it with Fulham, he did it with us, and he did it with Burnley. That's 3 he's got up. I mean, you got to give him some credit, haven't you?
Yeah, Nick as well. Fulham. Yeah, he did Fulham as well.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. So you got to hand it to the bloke. When he gets them up there, he doesn't have a lot of success because he might be coming back down again. But we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. So Scott Parker. There we go. Junior Stanislas. I think he actually scored a goal for the West Ham first team. To be honest. Yeah, I'm pretty certain he did. But yeah, great player in a Cherry shirt. He was a favourite of mine, Junior. Now he's on the coaching staff, I think, at Ipswich.
Is he?
I believe so, if he's still there, yeah.
My memory. Were you there? Was it at Dean Court he scored straight from the corner?
Against Manchester United.
Yeah, that's right. You'd have been there, wouldn't you, for that?
Yeah. I remember it. I was behind that goal.
Really?
And went straight in. Yeah,
that was under Eddie. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, scored some good goals, Junior did.
Oh, yeah. He suffered with injuries, didn't he?
Yeah.
He succumbed to injuries.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, really unfortunate. I mean, the season we went back down to the Championship, he had a great season that year. I think that was his best goal tally for Bournemouth that year. I think he might have scored about 11 goals or something like that.
I think in a dozen. Yeah.
He scored. So I remember that. But yeah, Junior Stanislas. So yeah, there you go, Colin. He's in.
Great memories.
Here's one that I won't know much about. I could find photos of him in Cherry shirts, but they were very, very small photos in books that I've got. But Bobby Howe.
Yeah. I've seen him play. He played at around the time Harry was signed, I think, under John Bond. Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, he did he? Yeah, I have seen him.
Early 70s.
Yeah.
Early 70s.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think he went on and had a bit of a coaching spell in America, I think, after his playing career. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so there's a name. I'm sure Malcolm probably remembers.
Tell us, Malcolm. Tell us your thoughts. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And here's one, Keith Rowland. Obviously played for Bournemouth. I think again maybe for a season or 2 before moving on to West Ham, but also was a Northern Ireland international as well. But again, what a cracking 90s kit that is that he's wearing there for West Ham. Gotta say, love the old 90s shirts.
Did you see Keith Rowland play at all, Matt?
I would have started going 1990. I haven't got any memories of him. I was about 4 or 5 years old when I started going, so no real memories of him specifically. No, but yeah, an interesting one from the past.
Yeah, for sure.
But Malcolm, wow, Bobby Howe.
Yeah,
I had
well,
forgotten about him. Yeah. Played in the side with David Stock, so I did an interview with. Great guy. Do
yeah,
check that out. That's on the channel.
yeah.
And there you go. Now over to you, Paul. This is the story you were.
Oh, thank you. How did I get those two muddled up? You know what I'm going to say, don't you? The story that
Yeah,
was going. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Over to
mean,
you.
he ended up. I think Bournemouth sold him in the end for about 40 grand or something. This kid, the story that was going around in the mid 80s, about 86. I'll make it brief. Harry Redknapp was the manager there at the time, and he told this story. I'm sure I've got it right, where he was sat in his office, and he could just hear this continual boop, boop, boop on the side of the wall to his office. And he came out, and that was Matty Holmes, and I think he was just kicking a tennis ball up against the wall, not knowing that it was Harry Redknapp's office. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't intend it to be wrong. And he kept coming back and doing this after school. And in the end, Harry came out and said, all right, we'll give you a trial. And he gave him a trial. Is this the story you're thinking of?
I've not heard this, so I'm learning something new.
And he gave him a trial and he signed him. I think he was 16 and a half or 17. He used to go down after school and kick the ball against the wall. He didn't know it was Harry's office. He was just out there playing around. It's strange. Wow. And he went on to be a very successful player.
Won the Premier League.
Yes, yeah, good player. Yeah, you're right. I did get the name muddled up. Well done, Matt. Good stuff.
Thought you had.
No, well done. Good pick. Yeah.
Well, that concludes the names we put together. Obviously, there is more.
I'm going to add one name that was brilliant. A player that was brilliant. Jack Wilshere.
Oh, of course, I forgot about Jack.
No. I mean, what a class player. I mean, I tell you what, he was similar to Ian Bishop. Those two, you could see similarities in their play. I mean, with Jack Wilshere, he just controlled the midfield and play a beautiful ball through for a forward or a winger.
Yeah, he was excellent.
And I'll make it brief. He came to Bournemouth on loan 2016 season under Eddie at Dean Court, and then he left. He was a bit injury prone, I think, but I always enjoyed watching. He was a class act, Jack Wilshere.
Yeah, unfortunately for injuries, he would have had he would have had a much, longer career at the top level. I mean, I remember watching, I think Arsenal in the
great player.
Arsenal against Barcelona, and he just absolutely, and he was only about 19, 18, 19, maybe 20, and he just completely controlled the midfield in that game. Brilliant player. Great to see him in a Cherry shirt on 2 occasions.
Loved it.
He come back a little bit, didn't he?
Well done, Matt. Good coverage, mate. Well done. Bournemouth fans enjoyed that. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was nice to learn a bit, something new there as well.
We're going to have to do the Thomas Frank, mate. We're going to have to do the Thomas Frank thing, mate.
We've got one comment quickly. Hello to Darren. Hope you're well, mate. Looking forward to a 1:30 a.m. kickoff time. That is dedication to you, Darren, because I'm sure you probably got to maybe get up for work, maybe? Or no, is that...
No, well, he'll be Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Oh, at least you can go back to bed after then, Daz, and have a bit of a lay-in. But, great to see you, mate. Hope you're well and catch up soon, definitely. This is it. We're at the end of the show. So we're at the end of the show, which can only mean one thing, and that is our music connection.
Hang on, Maddie. We've got to do one other thing. We've got to do the spot the ball.
Should we do spot the ball now before I forget at the end? Yes. Okay. So spot the ball. We had the choices of A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And if you have guessed C, you would be right. And that's the position of the ball.
That's completely wrong.
This week's spot the ball, position C.
Wow.
So there we go, from there to there.
Completely wrong. Yeah. Brilliant.
But thank you for reminding me, because I was on the way to forgetting. But that brings us on to our final segment of the show, which is always our music connection to football. And this was an easy one. It was an easy one. West Ham and music could only mean one thing. And that's one of my most favourite bands. And that is, of course, Iron Maiden. So what is the connection with Iron Maiden and football? Well, very simply, it is West Ham. So let's have a look at some facts about Maiden, like we look at facts about every musical artist that we cover. So Iron Maiden is the cornerstone of heavy metal. They were formed in London in 1975 by bassist Steve Harris, who remains the only original member of the band, and he is the main songwriter as well. Over their 5-decade career, they have sold over 130 million records, and they've released 17 studio albums. Myself and Paul do have a few albums that we've picked out of favourites. Now, they're a band that has a running mascot. A long-term running mascot. I think he's appeared just about on every album cover and single cover that they've ever released, and that is Eddie the Head. So he's actually originally started as a little simple face mask at the back of the stage, and at certain times it would spit out fake blood. And now, if you go to an Iron Maiden concert, which I've been to on a few occasions, there's actually on the stage, Eddie actually comes out and fights the band and things like that. It's great.
Have you've actually seen them live, have you?
Oh yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Brilliant band.
Right. Yeah.
Since 1999, they've operated with a unique free guitar lineup consisting of Dave Murray, who's been on every album, Adrian Smith, and Yannick Gers. In 1984, Iron Maiden was the first Western band to take a full-scale stage production behind the Iron Curtain, performing multiple shows in Poland. Right, lead singer is a pilot, Bruce Dickinson. For those that don't know, he's actually a qualified commercial pilot. Now, he left Maiden in the mid-90s. He went on and done his pilot license. And then he rejoined Maiden in 2000. And he's actually flown Iron Maiden on several of their world tours. Now, the picture of the plane there is Ed Force One, which has flown Iron Maiden all around the world, which has been flown by lead singer Bruce Dickinson. So sales, obviously 130 million records. Their biggest albums, The Number of the Beast from 1982, that's sold between 19 to 20 million units. And there's several other albums there. A personal favourite of mine is listed there, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, which Paul will talk about a little bit more in a minute. And Killers as well, that's a great album as well. So, great albums. But yeah, there's a list of their studio albums from 1980 all the way through to 2021 being their last release. And there's some excellent choices there, which me and Paul will touch on a couple very, very shortly. But yes, the connection then with Maiden is West Ham. So that's mainly driven by their bassist, Steve Harris. He's a passionate, lifelong supporter of the London club, and this has also evolved into an official partnership as well. So they actually have official merchandise with Iron Maiden and West Ham on as well, which we'll have a very quick look on very shortly. He supported the club since 1965. He's also a talented player himself. He was actually on West Ham's books, I think, as a youth player, but then went into music. So here's the partnership. So they produce these Iron Maiden themed football shirts, which is great, all based on West Ham colours, which they've done over the years. So there's many different ones, but there's just a small selection there, and they always have one of the retro West Ham crests on the shirt as well. So if you are an Iron Maiden fan and a West Ham fan, that must be amazing to buy a football shirt with your team and your favourite band on. Must be great. And they have played at the London Stadium. So I've been to the London Stadium for concerts as well as football. And I must admit, as a concert venue, it is fantastic. But yes, they played there last year on their tour in 2025, which I managed to see that tour last year. But they did,
you?
yeah, last year. Yeah, I saw that one last year. But yeah, I think it was a lifelong ambition of Steve Harris to play at West Ham Stadium, which they managed to do last year, and that was said to be the best gig of the tour. I saw them in Birmingham, but yeah, that was said to be the best night on the tour. So what else links them then? So obviously West Ham, but Yannick Skurs is actually a Hartlepool United fan. There he is pictured at Hartlepool Stadium watching them when he wasn't touring with the Great Maiden. But yeah, he's actually a Hartlepool United fan.
Wow.
And guitarist Adrian Smith is said to be a long-time Watford fan, but it's also mentioned that he's also watched Fulham as well over the years. So it's not just West Ham, but yeah, there is some other clubs in there as well. Their first singer, the late Paul Di'Anno, he was the vocalist on Maiden's first two albums, and their former drummer, the late Clive Burr, they were also said to both be Hammers fans as well. So yeah, there's the Hammers connection again. And Blaze Bailey, who took over as vocalist in 1995 from Bruce Dickinson, he was said to be a Fulham fan. And drummer Nico McBrain, he's retired from touring now with Maiden. He retired in 2024. But which side is he said? Which Premier League side is he said to support? Paul, would you like to have a quick guess?
Oh, do you know, I imagine it would be a London team. I'll go with a London team. I don't know why, because they seem to be London-based. I don't know the first thing about this band. But, okay, I'll have a guess. A Premier League team, relevant one now, so...
Yeah.
I'll go Spurs. There you go.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
he is said to support Arsenal.
Okay, I wouldn't have a clue. Yeah.
So Iron Maiden FC, as in football club, is an actual amateur football team founded by bassist Steve Harris. The team consists of band members, crew, and management. So matches while on tour, they would play friendly matches against local staff or professional clubs, veteran academy sides. So, for example, in June 2025, they played a 3-3 draw against Burnley FC staff at their training ground. And they've also played matches against clubs across Europe, including Dortmund and Barcelona during European tours. And in June 2025, they won a friendly in Stockholm with an 11-1 victory. So there's some pictures of Iron Maiden FC from over the years. So yeah, that concludes Iron Maiden, Paul. I've done it again. There we are. So that concludes Iron Maiden. So I'll let you go first. You've got a couple of interesting albums.
Yeah, as I say, being totally honest with you, Matt, I've had nothing to do with this band. I don't know. I've never been into them at all, but I borrowed these. I had to borrow this, but that's... sorry about the reflection. That's Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
As I say, I have nothing to do with the band. But the other one I've got is, I don't know what that's called, whether it's Live After Death or whatever it's called. I don't know.
Yeah, Live After Death.
Yeah, that's Gatefold. But there you go. It's
beautiful imagery there.
But it's not. It's different for me. I'm sort of not into that stuff, but I loved Ozzy Osbourne and his stuff. But we're all different, and that's what's so great about the music business and music. We're all different with our choices, and it wouldn't be one of mine. As I've told you, Matt, I've been honest with you. Not one of mine, but we're all different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you've got some great stuff, I know there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple of albums. I don't actually have any vinyl. Unfortunately, for Maiden, but I do have all their studio albums. But one of my favourites is their very first album, Iron Maiden, self-titled album. Some great tracks on there, like "Running Free" and Brilliant tracks. Great album. One of my go-to albums for Maiden. And then another one I've chosen is one from 2000, which was Bruce Dickinson's comeback album, Brave New World. This was the first Maiden album that really got me into Maiden when I was about 15, 16. Fantastic. Love every single track on that album, Brave New World, which is great. But keeping to that theme, that year they also played Rock in Rio, where they did a Brave New World set at Rock in Rio, which is a live album. So they're my three favourite albums. Well, three of my picks for today's show. But also, just before we finish off, I also have this beautiful full history of Iron Maiden. This book, which I had for my birthday last year. Which is beautiful. Got some great pictures in it. Full history of Iron Maiden, which is, a beautiful, beautiful work of art, that book. So, but yeah, that's it then, Paul. That's it. So we've covered off quite a lot in today's show. Let's just quickly jump back to the comments before we wrap up, just to say goodbye to everybody. Great show, Matt and Paul. Thank you, Chris. Great to have you with us as always, mate. David DaCosta, very enjoyable and educational show. Well done on your facts and stats. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Dave, for joining us every week. It's great to have you with us. Murray, I remember 1982-83, the Number of the Beast album went top 10 in Australia, made heavy metal mainstream for a moment. Bruce Dickinson, the air raid siren, great entertainer. Wow, I didn't know that. So they actually made a massive impression in Australia then with heavy metal. Wow, that's great. Never knew that. Great listening as always, guys. This is from Colin. Need to drop off now, but we'll sure tune in next time. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Colin, for joining us. The Watkins gang, thank you as always. Great show. Thank you from us all. Great to hear about Harry Redknapp. Excellent. It was great to hear some of the stuff. Paul's done a lot of research this week, and it's been great to learn some new stuff. Another great show, Matt and Paul. Thank you, Malcolm. Great to have you with us as always, mate. And David, great show, lads. Brilliant. Well, once again, it's been a pleasure to spend some time with everybody. It's been a pleasure with spending some time with you again, Paul, on this show. So it's goodbye from me, and
goodbye from Matt. That's what I say, don't I? And goodbye from Matt. Yeah, that's good. Lovely. Good stuff, Matty. Well done, mate. Later.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.